G'day guys and welcome to Raging Rhino. With Andor just around the corner, they have actually allowed a few of the fans and a few people, a few of the shills to be honest with you, go and watch the first 3 or 4 episodes of Andor. Now, I personally think that being the fact that we're getting the first 3 episodes on the first night, I don't think that's a good thing. I feel like they're doing that because they don't have any confidence in it. And based on what they've given us with Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I'd argue even with The Mandalorian, it doesn't surprise me that they're doing it this way. But I actually wanted to go over something that Grace Randolph said about her thoughts after watching the first, well, it says up there, the first 4 episodes. Let's take a listen to what she has to say about it.
Also, the first Disney Plus Star Wars or Marvel show to have pretty much 0 Easter eggs. I mean, someone's like, hey, there's something going on in Scarif, but that's like it in the first.
Okay, so in the first 4 episodes, all she's saying is that there's not enough Easter eggs. That is her biggest problem with it. Now, I think that they've been putting way too much of the keys on the screen and way too many of the Easter eggs on the screen and really throwing them in your face. Now, I'm not saying that they've got to completely take them away, but I don't think it's a bad thing to not have the nostalgia. Does that mean that it's not good? Like, it can't be good without the nostalgia being thrown at the screen. Is that what the problem is? Lucasfilm can't seem to get their shit together enough to actually create a good story without throwing the Star Wars references on the screen. I really hate this because if there was a lot of the Easter eggs thrown at the screen, she would probably be ranting and raving about it. Oh, the lightsabers. Oh, the hallway scene. Whatever it may be. Oh, I got to see R2-D2. Like, that's what Star Wars has become. So if they had have thrown a lot more at the screen, you would have been happy about it and you would have been ranting and raving about the jangling keys. But because there are no jangling keys, you think that this story isn't any good. Now, I got to give some of the cast at least a bit of credit because from what I've been seeing, they have been sort of at least promoting what the show is about. There has been a little bit of, it's got a lot of new female characters with a lot of female voices and a lot of diversity. There has been a little bit of that. But I will say Diego Luna, I haven't heard him really talk too much about the diversity stuff. It's been more about the story. It's a spy thriller, this sort of thing. But for Grace Randolph, and again, I watched some of the clips of some of these people reacting to seeing the first 3 episodes I think they got to see. And holding their little baby Yodas going, yeah, it was amazing. Getting to see Andor's story before, we get to see how it ends. There's no, to me, this story has no stakes. And if they're starting the formation of the rebellion 5 years before A New Hope, and not 14 years before A New Hope or something like that, I really don't know what to say. I mean, they've already come out and said that everything that you thought you knew, you're wrong. Every discussion that you've had with the fans along the years about this time period and what happened with the rebellion, you're completely wrong. Anyway, let's continue listening to what Grace has to say.
First 4 episodes. And I think that will really hurt its reach in fan circles and on social media because there isn't anything to really talk about or get excited about when it comes to big picture, the franchise as a whole.
Oh, so the story that they've created for this franchise as a whole is shit and it can't do anything without the keys being thrown at the screen, without the nostalgia bait, the Easter eggs. It's the kindest way of putting it, the Easter eggs. You're getting sucked in by the fucking keys.
It's so crazy to me that Disney in both the Marvel and now clearly the Star Wars divisions doesn't understand the importance of Easter eggs. I mean,
Okay, I do want to point out there is a little bit of importance around Easter eggs and having something like maybe something on a poster in a background, those sorts of Easter eggs. But to really rub it in your face with multiple Easter eggs after each other, that's where I think it's just getting that's what the entertainment's about. It's about the Easter eggs and about the message.
Help me help you. Help me do my job. I mean, this kind of discussion, the fan reaction and speculation and fan theories is what has made this new kind of blockbuster leave all other content in the dust because of the conversations it's able to generate. And the fact that Hollywood seems unaware of that, because you have the same problem over with DC that Warner Brothers is trying to build, and I think also
I don't know about the
with Harry
DC
Potter,
stuff.
is incredible to me. That they would just so not know their own product and why it's been so successful.
I can't stand her voice.
I thought knew it, but yet how do you explain the lack of Easter eggs on She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel?
It blows my mind that what's important is actually having the Easter eggs there on the screen, and the fact that the Easter eggs aren't there is then a bad thing. Like, again, I just said that there is a very small importance in having Easter eggs in a certain story, especially if it's slotted in a certain time spot. Why wouldn't we see this character, or why would we see this character? Like, again, on the poster, you don't see Bail Organa. Now, that would be a good Easter egg to put in because he is relevant in this time period. But if we don't see him, well then, yeah, I understand that factor. But to say that is like what's carrying the show and it's going to be boring and shit without the Easter eggs, no. The Easter eggs are supposed to add to the overall story of what you're actually watching. It's a nice little thing to sit there and go, yeah, I understand that reference that they just showed me on the screen. That is nice. I get that. But that shouldn't be what's driving the show. And that seems to be how Grace is reacting to the first 4 episodes of Andor. So it must be boring garbage, and the only way that it's going to be entertaining is to put the Easter eggs on the screen.
It should be a mandate. I mean, I can understand some creatives being like, I don't want to do that. And I'd be like, tough. You want to play in my sandbox? You play with my rules.
Yeah, you don't understand how it works,
chunks
Grace.
In the sand, and they're Easter eggs. Why else would we dig in the sand?
Oh my God, so annoying.
I think they don't understand the content, and I think they don't understand the people who enjoy it.
They haven't understood the content for a long time, Grace. The people making Marvel, the people making Star Wars, the people making DC, the people making Lord of the Rings, they all don't get it. Here.
And that's always been a problem for Hollywood. You have people who don't understand, and in some cases are disdainful of the consumer. And it's ridiculous. All right, so anyway, as I said, this is...
Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. I think that the fact that the thing that made Andor bad was the fact that there wasn't enough Easter eggs. And I sit here and I go, take the Easter eggs away, come up with your own story. You can still come up with a compelling story. It doesn't have to be filled with nostalgia bait. And it seems to be the case for Grace Randolph to get any enjoyment out of it. I also wanted to just share with you that, again, we all know John Campea is a piece of shit. He's the dumbest fucking idiot I've ever watched, personally. Now, I just wanted to share this with you because apparently what happened was Lucasfilm sent out a whole heap of invites for people to go and watch Andor. Now, of course, they had an embargo on doing your reviews and all of that sort of thing, but John Campea got to see it without having the embargo over his head and started talking about certain elements of it. Now, I didn't see the tweets or anything like that, but this is his justification for it. Apparently, Lucasfilm contacted him or something like that, but I just wanted to show you how much of a piece of shit he is, because no matter how much I think that Andor's going to be shit, right? If there's an embargo, like nobody else is seeing this, there are people out there that are excited for it, you know, the Disney shills, but I still disagree with the fact that he's coming out and talking about this stuff before, you know, the embargo has been lifted for everybody else. So anyway, this is his justification for it.
Some of you may then have noticed that last night on Twitter, I had mentioned that I had seen the first couple of episodes of Andor. And some people asked me, well, wait a minute, I thought the embargo lifted the next day. Here's the thing. I was not under embargo. The reason I was not under embargo is because the studio never invited me to watch it.
So does that make it okay? I'm curious to know how you guys in the chat feel about this. Does that make it okay? Is he completely justified in just talking about it? Like being completely open? I don't know. See, because I look at it from the point of view of, okay, so what if that had have happened with something like Cobra Kai? I'd be pissed if I came across that tweet not expecting it and there was an embargo on, but he wasn't a part of the embargo. I will say, because it's Andor and I don't give a shit and I'm expecting it to be bad, I don't know. I kind of feel a little hypocritical in saying, well, I don't really care, so go for it. But I'm curious to know what you guys think.
I was not a part of any agreement because I was not part of that. Now, to back that up a little bit, I will let you guys know. My staff knows this. Rob knows this. Jonathan knows this. Ray knows. They've known this for a while. Some time ago, and I'm not going to go into the reasons why. Some time ago, I wrote to Disney and I requested that I be taken off their media list.
Oh, okay. I don't really actually want to go through this entire video. He just basically goes through and tries to justify it. The basic premise of why I wanted to bring this up was, what do you guys think? Do you think it's okay if you end up finding a way to see it before anybody else, and the people that are allowed to go and see it and invited to go and see it are under embargo? Are you just allowed to talk about it? You're under no contract, so legally he is. But just his own integrity, I mean, would you do that? Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Andor, like I said, it is just around the corner. We don't have too many days left. What is it? 3 days. It's on the 21st. So I'm curious to see the lack of Easter eggs in the Andor series, to see if their story is actually any good. Their spy thriller, as they're promoting it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Later, guys.